So, my name is Henry St. Julian. I am, I don't know who I am right now. I'm many things now, transition. But I'm going to be your MC for this little event. This is just a quick unveiling. And I just want to take you through the various steps that happen, and I want to celebrate it. And behind the screen, there are some murals that's going to happen, so I want to have that. We're going to start with the history, then we're going to go to the process, and then the actual painting, and then the unveiling. That's how it's going to go. And then I'll end with my hope for the next mural and kind of vision that way. So, without any further ado, I would like to invite over the mic Mrs. Gantz to talk to us about the history. What happened? How did this happen? Do you want podium or do you want to just go right to that?
Want me to just stay here?
Ooh, hey, you gotta use the mic though.
Oh.
You gotta use the mic.
Hello everyone, I am Mrs. Gans, and I always said I am the former, very proud principal of Falmouth High School. And so how this started is right after the horrific murder of George Floyd, we realized we wanted to do something. We were talking to students. We actually started the Clippers for Racial and Social Justice group, which was all virtual. We got these t-shirts. And we kept talking about what can we do. And one student in that group, Noah Pring, who has since graduated, came up with the idea of doing a racial and social justice mural project. And I had always talked about with the group, you know, we've got these two pandemics. We've got COVID-19 and we have a racial justice pandemic. And we just thought that this mural project would bring people together and be a unifying event for our school. Well, it was a very involved process because first it involved getting some grant money, which I was very fortunate to apply to the Mass Cultural Council and FEF, which we got two very generous grants to support this. The Mass Cultural Council grant was called a STARS grant, which is an artist in residence grant, and our wonderful artist, Miss Jackie Reeves, is here today. So I was very lucky I got her name. Actually, I think Miss Janie Baker gave me her name. And I had contacted several artists, and I'm like, Jane, I'm striking out, and she said, contact this woman. So you have been instrumental in getting this underway. So we got the grants, we got the artist, and Miss Reeves began meeting with Mr. St. Julian and Miss O'Brien and the students, and I then left as principal and dumped it on Mr. St. Julian and Miss O'Brien and the wonderful students. So they really deserve, and Miss Reeves, they deserve all the credit in this. They did all of the hard work. I just got the money to fund it, and it's incredible. Once you see the murals, you'll be so impressed. And like Mr. St. Julian said, the idea, we were originally planning on 3 murals. Because of time and money, we were only be able to complete 2 murals, and hopefully we can get a 3rd one done in the fall. So thank you everyone, and I will turn it back.
Thank you. All right. We definitely miss your leadership. She definitely was pivotal in that, so I appreciate you, Mary, for that. So I'm going to bring you up. I'm going to bring up Miss O'Brien and students. They're going to come up here as well to just talk to us. How do we get from the money to this here, and then after that we'll go for the process of this. So basically, what did you do? And I have 2 students that want to. You.
It's a chronic problem. Thing. Anyway, so I'm Sue O'Brien. I'm a special educator here at Falmouth High School and co-advisor with Mr. St. Julian with the Diversity Club, and I'm also the advisor of the GSA. So once Jackie came on board, she had all kinds of ideas and was a terrific catalyst for brainstorming with all of the students, and we spent a lot of time in my room hashing out ideas. And what evolved surprised Mr. St. J and myself. We thought, from the conversations we'd had with students since January of, oh my gosh, when was COVID?
When was
When was it really bad? When we were not in school. Yeah, so during the hybrid year, in that January, we started up the groups again, and we had some really intense, fantastic discussions with the students. And they were all very politically minded, and racially motivated as well in response to George Floyd and some of the other atrocities that we've become aware of over the years. And anyway, so we just had these really intense discussions, and the kids were like, we need to do something. And so we tossed around, throwing paint on a sheet of plywood, and then, just sort of like people putting out words that, they're feeling, if they're angry or sad or happy or whatever those might have been. And then it evolved into bringing Jackie on board, and we went in a completely different direction, which was a surprise to us. And so we ended up working with the Wampanoag tribe and using the town's or the school committee's land acknowledgement as a basis. And Jackie and myself and Kaylee Pierce met with Kitty Hendricks, who's the educational coordinator for the tribe. And she was kind enough to open up the little museum in Mashpee for us in off-season on a dreary November day. And oh my gosh, we were there for 2.5 or 3 hours, and she was just lovely, full of just loads of history and important information. And the goal that Jackie and I kind of tossed around between ourselves and obviously with the students was that we need to be sure that we are not stepping on anybody's toes, and that this is seen as a truly humble experience for us to honor them. And Kitty was super supportive. She had lots of great things to share with us. And then you will see momentarily, well, you'll see that in a new form. And it was a moving experience. Jackie's done a fantastic job. Some of the pictures up here are the process of. Some of them are sort of Jackie thinking out loud on paper and or on her iPad, which is amazing. Anyway, so some of those iterations are just thoughts, and some of it on the second mural, which leaned more toward where we thought we were going in terms of Mr. St. Jane have always been, about how to make Falmouth High School more welcoming to, especially to students of different nationalities. And so the second mural completely morphed into that and is far more colorful and playful, and we didn't really have to do homework for that because most of us are pretty in tune with culture and difference. So, and you'll see that one as well. One of the things that Mary had asked me after we had really gotten going on the first mural, excuse me 1 second, I forgot my piece of paper upstairs, sorry. It's really quite quick. So Mary had inquired as to how are things going with the mural project, and I was just really deeply humbled by the time that Kitty gave to us. And so my response was, first I need to thank Kitty Hendricks, who is the education coordinator for the Wampanoag tribe. In addition, she also plans cultural programs at the Mashpee Wampanoag Indian Museum. She was kind enough to open the building and share her knowledge with us. The mural captures many elements integral to the health and well-being of the tribe, including land and water. Fresh water, surprisingly. Is that a surprise to anybody else? I was surprised. We looked at the ocean. Anyway, we walked through seasons and years, discussed plants, amphibians, and animals, the power of nature and harnessing her energy, the importance of horseshoe crabs and cranberries, squash, beans, and corn, turtles and turkeys, and so on. This is only a shimmer of light on the depth and complexities of the Wampanoag tribe. I'm deeply grateful for Kitty's time and tutelage. So, Mary's framed that somewhere in her office. But anyway, so that's the scoop. It has been great, and we've got 2 students here who were integral to this really kind of coming to fruition. And as we continued working on the mural, both murals in terms of the painting, Jackie had set it all up for us, and she can tell you about that. And then Mrs. Baker came through with on our Art Society kids, or Art Honor Society, to fill in the gaps where we needed them, and they were awesome. So let me turn this over to Anna.
Both guys can go up there. Come on up. There you go.
So I'm Lily, I'm a sophomore. I'll take you through the process of it. We worked with Jackie and we set up a few meetings here and there where there was a few students who came and we had to collaborate on ideas after some people went on a field trip, so we got a lot of ideas out of that. murals, there's food and animals. A lot of them represent a lot of symbols for the indigenous people. Then our second mural, we're talking about a welcoming diversity in our school culture. And through this whole process, anyone was able to come to lunch and during clipper time, and they were allowed to paint. So it was really great because a lot of people came and got to help out with the project.
Pretty much said it all. My name is Anna. I am a junior and member of the Diversity Club at Falmouth. I mostly helped with the land acknowledgement mural, and it was a really great experience. It was great to have so many people come together to acknowledge this. And I'd like to thank Mrs. Reeves for all the work that she put into it. It was very meaningful. And thank you to Ms. Gans for getting the funds for it. I'm really happy to have this mural as an addition to our school. I think it's very educational and meaningful. Yeah, so thank you to everybody that was part of the process.
Thank you. So I want to get, thank you, ladies. Very good. It was, a lot of the part was just planning and putting together, so this didn't just happen. I want to get the painters. So, Elise, you want to come up and talk to me? And Jackie, could you come and talk to us about the, how was it painting and all that kind of stuff? You were there, right? Yeah, you were up in the, down in the cafeteria, and were you by yourself, or were there a couple other people? Or just want to talk about that.
So I usually went during sixth period art because that's when I have art class, and I usually went with my friend Amelia Donnelly, and I don't know his last name, but I was there with them. We did quite a bit, but we did some of the detailing, and we ended up adding a few details when we were there. There's a little image of Cape Cod on one of them that we ended up adding, which was cool to sort of integrate Cape Cod into it. And it was pretty fun. It wasn't super difficult, I think, but it was pretty calming, I think, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I guess I would say thank you for having me. Thank you. It was wonderful working with you, Mr. St. Julian and Ms. O'Brien, and meeting the students here at Falmouth. It was a lot of improv. We were making things up as we went along, which is a very normal art process. So we didn't really know how we were going to get the kids fully involved. So that part for me was like, well, I'll be down there in the caf painting. Whoever shows up, we'll give them a brush and let them have it. Let them have at it. So, and of course the planning process was the best. A lot of the work when it comes to doing a mural like this comes in the preliminary stuff, the stuff the behind the scenes that you've all talked about. And then the fun stuff, the painting, it's never seems like enough time for that. You could spend a lot more time doing that if you had the time, but we kind of ran out of time. It was wonderful to just be, as a facilitator of this, my favorite part is when the kids come and they get a paintbrush and they're painting, suddenly I become invisible. I'm like a fly on the wall, it's like I'm not there. And they start talking to each other, and they're listening to music, and they're having fun. They're talking about what they're painting, and we, impromptu started coming up with ideas for other murals and themes that were of concern to kids. And that's the best part for me. It's this is how we really ideally want to see a mural project unfold, is just very organically and just giving the young people a voice through art. So I feel honored to be facilitating you know, kids that way. I hope we get to do some more, because we just kind of touched on some for this mural, but I see a lot more, and there's a lot of walls in Falmouth High School, so just find the funding and we'll be busy for the rest of our lives, I think. What else can I say about the process? Yeah, you know, the paint, it's just like, it's just an amazing vehicle for people to give, you know, to outpour their feelings. Every single one, we're like, can I stay the next period? I'm like, that's not up to me. Ideally, yeah, I would say stay all day. And they're like, can we just do this all day? I was like, I think you need a mural class at Falmouth High School, so I'm gonna pitch that over here. Because definitely it was a lot of good connecting that happened, and the kids didn't necessarily know each other, and in hearing them talk while they painted, things like, oh, I'm a Wampanoag. I'm like, really? Yeah, so am I. Like, in one time there was like 3 people from the Wampanoag tribe right there painting, and then we're talking about the mural, and they were like, oh, well, do you know what this means? And they're like, no, I didn't know what that means. So it was like we were all learning about it together, and that's really what it's all about. So thank you.
She's amazing, absolutely amazing. And I don't know if you realize that some of the kids were kind of probably not in a good place, and they were kind of wrapping around, and I was like, hey, I got something, let's go downstairs. Jackie, take them. And then it was really good. So I think we're ready for this. I think we're ready. So can I have my students, can we have you 4, can you guys come on up here? Can you, let's see what we got. So here's what you do. So there are the first mural, which is over here, and I'm going to be behind it because I want to make sure it doesn't fall. So one over here, one over there. Okay, good. And you're going to take it from the bottom. Right? No, Chris. No, we're going to take it from top. Take it from top. Come right here. Take this right here. I'll just say this. The first one is all these murals are about diversity, and this is our diverse past in Falmouth. So why don't you take it and reveal it? And here is diverse past. And each symbol here means something. So it was very intricate of what it means. And so you are here represents, can you take this? This is our land acknowledgement. So this is together that says that we have a diverse past. The tribe was here first, and this is where we are at. So that's our first one, and that took a lot of time, and we had some serious discussion on how do we represent individual, you know, what each of these aspects, they're all important to the tribe. So I think that was a learning process. So I thought that was fantastic. Our second mural, okay, I'll take one side. I want to make sure, let me go behind him. I'm afraid it's going to fall. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, this is our diverse, we are diverse today. This is who we are. This is that we want to make a welcoming place. You belong here. This is who we are. And as we're putting where people have come from, someone goes, oh, wait a minute, what about, and then we had, that was growing. And I think it's going to still grow. I think we can add to how diverse we are and some of these phrases. And so that's all in there. So that's past, present, and our goal is now, I believe our goal is, because we are so diverse may come a conflict. What should be our goal? What should be our calling card? What should we to bind us together? There's got to be something. And I'm hoping for another visual that says this is what we're heading for. This is what we're going for. So we'll need some brainstorming on that. And so that's what we have. So we got 2. It's right now. These 2 are going to the. What are they going to do? To the library. Farmers. And then they're going to go from there to be mounted in CAF A and CAF B, and I'm hoping for CAF C, and I'm hoping for other stuff, and I do believe that we need a course. So, so thank you all. This is, unless you have any questions for our students or anyone like that. Do anyone have any questions for anyone here? Yes.
It is my day for asking questions.
You're good. You're a good question, babe.
I'm curious where the other murals that you had in the slideshow are located.
those images were a slideshow that I presented on the first day of meeting with students so they could get an idea of the power of murals and community murals, and it was an example of murals from around the country in different environments that were also land acknowledgement murals, so we can get ideas. So just as a starting point, when I work with students, is, you know, it's hard to come up with ideas out of nowhere. So I give them a little art history background to say, like, this is what's come before, this is what's possible. What ideas do you have for our mural? So that's what a lot of those images were. They were from other murals to give them, you know, just to start sparking ideas, because it's amazing how once you start seeing images, then you can start thinking of others. Like, you can draw a real blank when you're just given a piece of paper and say, okay, go, write down ideas. Like, that's really hard to do as an art person or anybody who's, so it just helps to get things started and the conversation started. That's what those were.
Very good.
Yeah, and then the other thing that happened as a result of those meetings was, when we had kind of narrowed it down to what we thought the kids were really kind of plugging for, I sent out a survey looking for feedback. So of these, I think I gave them 3 or 4 options. Of these, which would you prefer to see happen? So that's eventually, that is what we came up with.
Any other question for the students, or yes?
Hi, I'm Kitty Hendricks, and just wanted to let you know, thank you so much for picking Jackie, because all the information that she gleaned from 2 to 3 hours together, and then she says, oh, what about this? And I was like, whoa, she got it. You know, everything was just point, things that she came away with was important to us, it's always been important to us, and it's a shame that it had to take so long. You know, my boys came to here, and I would have loved if they could have experienced this to, you know, make them very prideful. So thank you, students, for thinking it's important. Unfortunately, I said George Floyd, and to have that presence to know, well, let's look at our backyard, right? We've been here for hundreds of years, and it's not that far away from our homeland. So thank you for the showing your care.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kitty. You were a huge help. I mean, we didn't even get into all the details
There's
of what's
so
in
much.
the mural, but that does
You
come
can do a
all
class on
from
that one.
Kitty. And we actually talked about having a little key map.
It was on the slideshow, yeah.
It was on the slide that showed what everything meant, and, you know, the herring in the river, the turtles as the Mother Earth. I mean, you could speak to this better than me. What else do we have? We have the deer and the coyote, the moon cycles, this oral storytelling. That was something that was important. There's a figure there by a fire speaking to a group of people. The traditions of the tribes are passed on through oral storytelling, so we want to get that in there. The feathers, everything, all the fiddleheads, so the squash and the corn and the beans, the 3 sisters that are grown together. I couldn't fit it all in. What else we had? Arrowheads are in there, but it's hard to tell that they're arrowheads. Some of the patterning in the bottom of these cranberries as well. So there could be so much more. If we had a bigger wall, we would have gotten more, but you know, look for another wall, and let's get one out in Falmouth. There should be one outside for the whole community to see.
And I believe this image is going to be in every school. So that's going to be, you know, this is just not just in one area, it's going to be every school. So that's huge. So thank you. You know, you enrich us. You know, that's what, like diversity, we talk about diversity. It's not a bad thing. Diversity enriches us. It makes us better. It's just a powerful thing. We just have to find a way to make sure that we know that everyone here is assets. So thank you for coming.